Hello there, paper crafters. Kelly Baxter-Fitzgerald here with Snips by Kelly, and I'm excited to show you an actual 26-page workshop share. So many of you that are familiar with Close to My Heart know that almost every year Close to My Heart puts out a calendar kit. I love to do the calendar kit for my kids for Christmas, my grown kids, to document our lives throughout the year and the special events, and personalize it by using their photos in it. And in the past, Close to My Heart has done these amazing calendars, but also quite a few years ago they were pretty extensive. They took quite a while. But in recent years, Close to My Heart has switched to what they call the Cutabove. The Cutabove is a trademark kit that is pre-cut and pre-designed so that it makes it so quick and easy to put together. This particular calendar kit, called These Are the Days, can be done on a calendar base, or it can be done as a separate workshop. It comes with all of the pieces needed to create 13 layouts shown here, a cover page, and 12 months. You can get it, like I said, with or without the calendar base, with or without a coordinating stamp that helps you if you're doing the calendar, and then all of the calendar number stickers. It also comes, whether you do it with or without the calendar or with or without the stamp, it also comes with all of the pre-cut die cuts. These are kind of like Cricut cuts that punch out of the background sheets very easily to give you all kinds of icons and parts and pieces to embellish your pages with, and I absolutely love them. You also get all kinds of pattern paper pieces that can be used or are used right within the workshop, and they are numbered on the back, so you can easily put everything into its corresponding pile for the workshop that it goes with. Some of those are used as photo mats and some within the pages. Then you also get all of this amazing pattern paper. So in the past, we've had pattern paper like this that is white on the back, but what I love about this year, besides the cover page, every other page has a double-sided pattern paper, and this pattern paper also includes the zip strips, and it is pattern paper from each of our 4 seasons collections: winter, spring, summer, and fall, and it is amazing pattern paper. Of course, you get a coordinating sticker sheet, and you get wood grain die cuts that are thicker die cuts, as well as black die cuts. So as you can see, whether you're doing the original workshop or my conversion workshop, you will have plenty of things to work with. Of course, as with all of Close to My Heart workshops, you get the photo place card holders, and with this particular one, you get sticker journal squares. So again, it's going to create the cover page and 12 months worth of layouts, and the original workshop creates 12 single pages, and I love that it has this full color visual with measurements and everything if you want to create it just like Close to My Heart did. Now, what I have done, and what many makers do, is I have created that into 2-page layouts. I kept the workshop true to form in that I took everything from the original pages and kept it with those pages, but made them into doubles, so that now you can use one page on your calendar if you're doing the calendar, and when the calendar year is over after 12 months, you can pull that out of the calendar, add it to the companion page, and you have a 2-page layout. Rather than throwing away that used calendar, you have made it into a memory book, and they cut apart or pull out of the calendar so easily, and then oftentimes I'll just trim the top of that off, and it creates that 12 by 12 base, so you don't have to worry about pulling papers off of the base or ripping papers. It comes off very easily. So by doing that, you are able to keep those memories forever instead of throwing away those 13 pages that you created for the calendar. So by making piles of all of those pieces that come together so easily for the original kit, I tried to use just those materials for each layout to stretch those with cardstock and expand on the original workshop and make it into a 2-page layout. So as you can see here, when you open up the instruction guide and you look at the months in there, and each month has January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. And again, what I'm describing here is that I took each of the materials from each of those months and used those to create the 2-page layout. I'm getting a little repetitive here as I do my little voiceover. So looking at the cover page, you can see what the single cover page looks like. Really, really cute if you wanted to do it just like that. But using those pieces, manipulating those pieces and adding cardstock, I created this 2-page layout. So they have given you the die cuts for 2023 as well as 2024. So if you're working forward, you could use 2024. If you're working on the current year, you can use 2023. And if it doesn't work with any of those years and you're working backwards, you can simply leave it off or replace it. So with those 2 background papers, I actually cut those. That is the original paper. I cut those so that I could spread it across 2 pages. I cut the pattern paper and I divided out the stickers and divided out the icons to create that 2-page layout. Moving on to layout number 2, this one was really fun because basically what I did is I took the negative space from the die cut. So if you look at the original, they give you some background die cut that creates the background of that page. It looks like this. And when you punch out pieces, the green scalloped piece is designated in the original workshop to go on layout 12, which is December. And so I have the background page for this layout number 1 for January, but there's this negative throwaway piece that comes right in the kit. And I used that because it has some great pattern paper around that throwaway piece that helps to tie in the background paper for the right page, and then it ties in that pattern on the left page. Sometimes all you need is just a little tiny bit to tie it in. Then you have this great wood grain piece, and so I cut that wood grain piece and I gutted it, which means I cut a frame around it so that I could use the center of that wood grain piece and I could back that throwaway piece with the wood grain so that I'm tying in both the pattern and the wood grain. Now the wood grain didn't cover all the way on the throwaway piece, so what I did is strategically placed my photos so it covered the portion that wasn't covered all the way so that I could actually stretch that and use both of those on both sides so that they coordinated. Moving on to February, this one was a super easy one. This adorable dot pattern that comes from our 4 Seasons spring collection. And I just manipulated those pieces and cut those pieces down a little bit, added a little bit of cardstock, and rearranged the pieces on that to create a full 2 pages. That one was super easy. Some of them are kind of tricky and some of them are super easy. So now we are at, let's see, January, February, March. And so on the original, the March layout uses an entire piece of a circle pattern green, and on the back of that green is that really gorgeous stripe, and there were lots of little icons that were different colors in this. There was some blues, there was some yellows, there was some pinks, and so I just sort of spread those colors across the 2 pages, added that striped element so that I could be able to stretch that. There was a couple little icons. There was one that was yellow that originally went with this layout that I just moved to this now April layout because I felt like it fit better. So when you look at April, they use that beautiful floral pattern, and I just wanted to tone down that busy pattern a little bit with some of the cardstocks and the other elements. So again, adding some cardstock strips, cutting the pattern paper down, adding the stickers, cutting some stickers down. So that large green sticker, I actually cut one sticker into 3 pieces so I would be able to use it in the banner and use it down below. I did the same thing with the pink sticker, and then I used some of the hearts, the negative hearts out of the circle die cut. But the pink sticker, if you can see the banners over by the hello, I also cut that down, and then there's that yellow piece that was supposed to go on the previous layout that I felt didn't go anymore when I made my changes, so I just switched that up and popped that over to the next layout, which is wonderful about this kit. There's so many pieces, you can rearrange them and put them on different layouts if you wish. So in this layout, now we are on to let's see, June. And this is what the June layout looked like. And they used the Four Seasons summer checkered blue pattern, the full sheet. But on the back of that blue pattern is the gorgeous red gingham. So all I did is cut some of those pieces apart so that I could use some of the gingham as well as the checkered side. And I actually flipped over some of the icons, like the base that's on family, and some of the banners were actually a multi-stripe. And I just flipped those over and used those on the white side. I trimmed down the journal sticker and still used all of the original stickers that were supposed to go with that layout. This one ended up being one of my favorites, and this is June. The last one was May, if I misspoke. Here is so I'm counting the original June layout, if you can see that, and it uses a multi-dot paper that I do love, but on the back side of that multi-dot paper is this gorgeous floral, and I could not resist using that gorgeous floral. And so I used the back side of the dot, some of the back side, some of the front side, added some cardstock pieces, used all of the original stickers and die cuts, but I did cut apart one of the die cut flowers so that I could use it and stretch it, use half of it on either page. I did also cut down a longer banner, and I cut the long banner into 3 pieces so that I would have more banner pieces to use on both pages. I absolutely love doing that. We had one zip strip that went with the original layout, so I just trimmed that zip strip into 4 pieces since only little bits of that show, and the rest of it would be covered up. So it makes it look like it's a full strip, even though it's just a partial strip. It's a great trick. I know paper crafters use that. And then, of course, I love the die cut titles, and I think that one stretched really, really well. Sometimes they just work. Now we're up to July, and what was so great about July is there was so many icons in July. Look at all of those icons that came with the original layout. Really, really cute layout just as it is, but there was plenty of icons to be able to stretch between 2 pages. So again, cutting down the blue stripe pattern, the pinstripe pattern, which you might not be able to see the pinstripes, adding that to cardstock and just stretching all of those stars, icons, stickers, and circles, and those things between the 2 pages, and adding some other extra journal spots. Super easy was that one. I really, really thought that one was easy. Now, for some reason on the video, I skipped over August and went right to September, but we'll go ahead and roll with it. When I looked at September, I thought, gosh, that's a lot of bright colors for September. I would have thought maybe they would be leaning a little bit more toward fall, but there were bright colors in it. So I was thinking to myself, I'll go with it. So the nectarine pattern in there, or the orange pattern in there, has leaves, and I would have maybe expected those leaves to be over on October. But here they are. So I went with it, and I trimmed down that nectarine leaf pattern, and I went with some of the colors that were in all of the little icons and doodads. Now on the back side of that orange leaf was a really gorgeous dark wood pattern, and I do love that pattern, but I stuck with the nectarine leaf pattern because of all the bright colors. What they gave us in the kit had the bright raspberry and the blue and the lemonade. So I basically went with it and paper pieced some things together and coordinated the colors that were in the icons with that nectarine orange and the black die cuts, and really thought it was playful and fun by the time everything was all said and done. And this was another one of those layouts that gave where they gave you so many pieces to work with that it was easy to stretch. Now moving on to October. October uses this gorgeous leaf pattern, which is one of my favorite patterns in the entire Four Seasons Autumn collection. I absolutely loved it. I just didn't want it to be overpowering. Like the original layout used the entire sheet. So I thought about offsetting that big busy leaf pattern with cardstock and some other colors. And so backing that on white really made it pop. Adding some of that leftover leaf paper, there was a couple strips of that left over from the previous layout. And then I was also able to incorporate a couple strips of the back side of that beautiful wood grain. I used a zip strip and cut it into 4 or 5 pieces to be able to create dovetailed banners out of the zip strips, and then some little decorative elements. I love that rich mocha that goes in that. Then looking at where we are, I'm counting and I'm discovering here in my video that I actually skipped August. So going back to August, in the original August, they used they gave us these beautiful floral overlay die cuts, and they used the entire avocado pinstripe from our Four Seasons summer collection. And I do love that pinstripe, but I didn't want to use it as a full page. And there's a gorgeous wood grain on the back. Anything, I feel, almost anything goes with wood grain. And then I was lucky enough to have just a couple strips left over of that gorgeous Four Seasons summer pattern paper that I love so much, to just give it that variety and break apart that green a little bit. The green is gorgeous. The avocado is gorgeous, but just breaking that apart a little bit and adding all the original icons. Now moving forward, we are on November. We're getting there. So November was so gorgeous as it was, and on the original, there were 6 different flowers and some little coordinating pieces. And I love that they gave us so many because it makes it easier to stretch. So again, I added clusters of 2 so that I could have a visual triangle of 3 when I added the second page. I actually cut some of the original stickers down, and instead of 2 stickers, I made them into 4 and just dovetailed the ends and tucked them under. It's a great trick to be able to cut stickers. Oftentimes, because we tuck stickers, we get a great plenty, and so we can totally use the other half that would normally be tucked away and not seen to be another visual for us. And then that brown pinstripe that I used is kind of hard to see in the video, but it's actually a gorgeous pinstripe, had that beautiful plaid on the back that I do love, but I just didn't feel like that plaid lent itself to the colors of the patterns and the icons that they gave us for that particular layout. And of course, getting to December, hooray, we're almost there. Here is the original layout that uses that scallop circle that we talked about in the beginning of the video that I used the negative space from. And it has this great plaid that is from our Four Seasons winter collection, and it actually has this gorgeous winter leaf pattern on the back. And I couldn't decide if I would use that or the plaid. I loved them both so much. I did go with the plaid, but I think any way you would go would be gorgeous. And then, of course, I just added a traditional grid on there, added some zip strips, and again, they gave us 3 full 12-inch zip strips. So I cut each of those zip strips into smaller sections so that I could use it on both pages. I used both the light and dark sides of our mink paper because when you're not adding pattern papers to something, it really jazzes it up to use both colors on both sides of our cardstock, and then just added the original gorgeous elements that were in that page. So we had December and November, and we had, that one was out of order, that was August, and then we had October. So fun. I can't believe 26 pages, and September and July. Here we go. We had, I can't think, June, I believe. Yes, June. And then May and April and March and February and January, and the cover page to create 26 pages. It was so much fun. It was like a little puzzle. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks you for letting me share my 26-page companion workshop, and you can check out all the details. The details will be in the description of this video, and if you liked it, please subscribe and follow. I would love to hang out with you and share more paper crafting with you. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.